What up, Internet? Welcome back to the kitchen. It's been a long time. A lot's changed over the years. It's all about Pinterest and DIYs and tablets as paper and the future. But we're gonna run it back to the basics. The old-fashioned, the original, the birthday cake.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 23. Everything will be alright.
It's gonna be a long night. What do these famous bakers all have in common? Well, probably success, tools, the right equipment, money, lots of other things. None of that matters because it's March, and March means that it's Kyle's birthday. And you're probably wondering, who's this Kyle guy? Why haven't I made him a cake in 5 years? Is he single? We're gonna get to none of those questions except for, ladies, he is single and smoldering. So let's get down to the ingredients you're gonna need to build your cake.
Someday I'll be living in a big old city, and all you're ever gonna be is me.
Pillsbury Funfetti cake mix, because everybody likes a good time. We're gonna use Pillsbury frosting with built-in confetti. You're gonna need cooking spray, some oil, a dash of Mrs. Dash, a loaf of bread, Kit Kats, and the all-important white eggs.
Someday I'll be
A measuring cup, flour shifter, cheese grater, a small and large cooking pan, one of these things, a spatula, a large cookie cutter, as a tall guy, mixing bowls. Let's talk about a few safety issues. One, whenever you're baking, you're gonna want to remember to turn off your smoke detector. These little guys can be a pesky reminder of why you should have gone to culinary school. And if you want to take it a step further, I also recommend shutting off your carbon monoxide alarm. Now that safety's out of the way, we can go ahead and preheat our oven to 350 degrees. Now for those of you who don't know, that's something in Celsius. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. We're gonna start making our cake. You're gonna want to take your eggs and break those and get them into your mixing bowl. You'll need 3 of them to be exact. If you want to go gluten-free, go ahead and just use 4 egg whites. Once we have our 3 eggs into the mixing bowl, we'll go ahead and let that hang out there for a minute. Once you got your eggs in there, go ahead and take your cake mix and add that in as well. You're going to want to distribute everything evenly. Next, you're going to need some oil. Now the recipe calls for some, but I don't remember exactly how much. And, well, yeah, that looks good. Alright, we'll go with that. Baking's not science or anything like that. We almost forgot the most important ingredient, Mrs. Dash. You're gonna have to go ahead and just add a touch of this. This is what makes all the flavor. Yeah, just add a healthy portion of that. A little bit of that, a little bit of spice. Best thing about it, 0 calories. Now we're ready to shake it up. Now if you remember from Cake Baking 101, you're gonna wanna go ahead and go counterclockwise for a while, and then clockwise. Now that we've got our batter, we're going to want to just go ahead and throw this in our industrial strength mixer for a little bit and get out all the little chunks. Now that our cake is done mixing, we're going to go ahead and set that on the stove. And next, we're going to talk about frosting. Now we're using white frosting today. Now we're going to go ahead and put this white frosting into our mixing bowl. One of the things to keep in mind is that your mixing spoon should not be left on the oven because it might melt. The reason why we're going to go ahead and put this into our mixing bowl is because we're going to add some food coloring to it. We're going to make this boring white color into something colorful and fun. We're just adding a couple drops of green food coloring. This is going to make that lovely grass texture that we're going to use when we get down to the decorating of our cake. Feel free to add drops liberally because you'll want to get it to the right color. A lot more. Come on, darker, darker.
You know, that's the neon color. Remember when you got that for me for Easter? It's not gonna get any greener.
Crap. Now that our cake is done mixing, we're ready to start the baking process. You're going to want to take your cake pans and your non-cook cooking oil spray and apply a generous amount to your cake pan. You've probably been thinking, why on earth do we have a smaller cake pan? We're taking our cake baking skills to the next level. We're going a cake within a cake. You're going to take your cake batter, you're going to pour that into one pan, you're going to take a little bit more, put it into your smaller cake pan, and then you're going to take the remainder and you're going to put it around your cake pan. And go ahead and just evenly put that around your cake batter. The last thing you want when making a cake is to have uneven sides because that's going to cause burnt. So we just got some consultation from our cake director and they let us know this dream is impossible. But who cares? Let's move to the oven.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 23. Everything will be alright if you keep me next to you. You don't know about me, but I'll bet you want to. Everything will be alright if
Again, they came out beautifully. We got our cake within a cake here, which we'll be separating in a minute. Now to speed up the cooling process, we're going to throw them on a cooling rack. You're going to go ahead and just take your cake and dump it out like so. Give it a couple pats. Should come out pretty easily. There it is. No one's gonna see that. Just gonna loosen this one up a little bit. Should come out pretty smoothly. There we go. Now for this one, we're gonna go ahead and take it out very gently. Give it a couple pats. Let it do its thing. There we go. You just want to flip that over like so. Little one, same deal. Take that, dump it out. Before we actually put that into the big one, we're just going to set that right there and let it cool. So now we got both of our cakes. People have been wondering, what are we going to do with this sourdough bread? Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to toss this bread right into the toaster and let that cook.
Gosh, honey.
Now that you have your toast, what you're going to do is you're going to take that gingerbread cookie cutter we talked about earlier. You're going to put your toast on a hard surface, and you're just going to press through like so. You're going to remove any excess ends. There we go, and we should have a nice clean final product. Well, he's missing a leg. That's okay though, he lost it in the war. We'll put that. So our cakes are just going through the cooling process right now, and they should be about done. Now that our cakes are done cooling, you can take your handy dandy little cardboard square here, and you're just gonna go ahead and transfer your cake to those. You wanna be careful. If there's any inconsistencies with. Now for this smaller cake, we're gonna go ahead and frost this first, so we won't be putting it on this guy just yet. This smaller cake is gonna be the lakefront in Kyle's nice little cottage village known as his birthday cake. We have a special treat. We're gonna add in Kyle's favorite candy. One of Kyle's favorite candy is Swedish fish. This is a true story. He bought a 5-pound bag once from the grocery store, took it to a movie theater, snuck it in his pants, ate the whole thing. It was incredible. Here we got our Swedish fish. We're gonna go ahead and sparingly take out a couple of those. This one could be Handsome Bob. This one could be Gorgeous George. This one's gonna go this way because he's nonconformist. We've used a special type of spoon to create this effect. We have little swells here, a little bit of white for foam, little chunks that represent pollution. We live in Southern California, that stuff is everywhere. Now it's time to jump to my favorite part, frosting. And when I say favorite, I mean least favorite, because the cake never stays together. So we're gonna take this green frosting, which represents our grass. Ladies, in case you're wondering, Kyle enjoys outdoor adventures, long walks on the beach, and hiking. He's also an expert fisherman, and I heard once that he did yoga. Again, when using a frosting spoon, make sure not to leave it on the oven. Let's see the cake boss do that. See, all these TV shows, they just use fondant. Fondant's easy. You just slap it on there, it's like drywall. But the classic though, frosting, it's an art. We're just going to go ahead and take our Swedish fish and drop that down right there. We're going to move into the final stages of our cake making. We're going to go ahead and build our log cabin. Kit Kats happen to be Kyle's favorite candy. They're his favorite candy unless 4 or more people are around and he has to share. Once you get a nice set of Kit Kats, you can go ahead and start forming your cabin. Alright, so we got our log cabin set up, we got our lake and our fish. The only thing that's missing is the mountain man. And just like Kyle, this bachelor to the rapture is going to be hanging out here, fishing and hanging out. Just about done. The last thing we need here is a little bit of Tswift. Now, it wouldn't be a birthday without her. And it just so happens that Kyle's celebrity crush is Taylor. And I'm sure throughout your life you've seen those cakes where people have their face on them or they have some type of cool picture or design. Well, what a lot of people don't know is that the average household printer can do all that. All you're gonna wanna do is grab your little ink cartridges right there and pop those bad boys out. We'll set them here on the counter. The only thing you truly gotta worry about is if it's gluten-free and non-toxic. In this case, it's gluten-free. So we'll go ahead, add a drop there, add another drop there, pop them back into the printer, and you'll be all set. We've gone ahead, we've put our ink back into the printer, we've put some parchment paper into the paper slide, and we're all set. Now we got our nice little paper cutout of Taylor Swift that's edible. And happy birthday to Kyle. Let's get a shot of that cake. Kyle, we wish you the happiest of birthdays and all the best. Ladies, there's a link to Kyle's eHarmony profile in the description below. If you like what you saw, go ahead and comment. Let us know what you'd like me to bake next. Check out Backhouse Films for some more cool films. Actually, just one. Yep, we only have two. See ya!